Okay, so I'm going to show you the things that you're going to need to make it. I also do one for my hair, but the one I use for my hair, the ingredients are slightly different, so I'll show you that one in another video. But for the body butter, you're going to need a container, an empty container, to put it in afterwards. And this is just one that I used to buy the shea butter from the body shop. I don't buy it anymore because I make my own, but it's when they did the limited edition giant tubs of it. So I've got the empty tub that I'm going to put mine in. Then I've got a whisk. I've got my blue whisk. You're going to need a whisk, or if you want to use a spoon you can, but it's going to be tiring. You'll need a knife to cut up the shea butter. I like to use coconut oil, and usually with the coconut oil you have to melt it. It only takes a few seconds. I mean like 15-20 seconds in the microwave to melt it, and then you can add some drops of that. Then I like to use Palmer's skin oil, skin oil, skin therapy oil. You can see I'm nearly finished. This is probably going to be enough to do this batch. Also, I like to add some bio oil. It's just my thing. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I like to add bio oil. And lastly, some extra virgin olive oil. It's not many things I add to it. I mean, I do like the majority or the main thing to be the shea butter. It's just the way I do it. It makes it easier to apply, because if you've tried using shea butter in its raw state, it can be very. I mean, it melts down to like an oil, but to get it to do, it's quite thick. It's very hard. I don't know how to describe it. I'll show you what it looks like. Anyway, this is my shea butter that my mommy brought me from Ghana. I had run out and I needed some, so she brought me. Well, she had this huge amount and she cut me off a large chunk of it. So this should last me for a while. But I'll show you what it looks like in its raw state, so you can understand why it's a bit difficult to work with in its pure state and why this makes it easier to apply. Okay, I've got to get all the layers off first and tie everything. I probably should have done this beforehand, but anyway. Yes, so this is the shea butter. It looks I don't know if you can see that. Hold it up a bit. It looks really crumbly, and it does have a very unique smell. I remember my mum used to, when we were kids, she used shea butter for everything. You get a cut on your leg, shea butter. You got a muscle pull, shea butter. Everything was shea butter, and I hated the smell. Now I love it. So I guess it's an acquired smell, taste, whatever you want to call it. But it does have an unusual smell, but it is kind of crumbly. And if you try to melt it down, I mean, it can melt down, but it's very, very thick. You can kind of see that's the consistency of it. It's very, very, very moisturizing. I love it. So yeah, you're gonna need some shea butter as well. I didn't melt the coconut oil before, so I'm going to do that and come back. Okay, so I'm back. Um, just remembered, which is a bit silly of me to forget, if you don't have the blessing of having someone bringing you shea butter from Ghana, then you can still buy it in a store. Before my mum got me this one, I got mine in a hair supply store, beauty supply store. I don't know what you call them. A hair shop is what I refer to them as. This was from a hair shop in London, but I've seen them all over the place. And it's a jar of 100 grams. It's not very big, but it does the trick when you need it. And it was okay, so it was 4.49. So that's how much it was. Um, and at the moment, it has got the last dregs of the hair one that I make. I'll show you now. Let me just try and make the container look a bit neater. Um, yeah, it's got the last dregs of the hair one. So this is coming in handy. I'll do my hair one again, and then I'll show you when I'm gonna do it, how I make it. So yes, I've melted down the coconut oil. It's all nice and fluid, and it was in there for less than 20 seconds. So yeah, it's all nice and fluid. And when you finish, it will set again by itself. Nothing's gonna happen to it. It's fine. So first things first. Oh, I also said you need a bowl. I didn't say, so I should have. You're going to need a bowl to mix it up in. And you don't have to worry that you're going to have to buy some separate container to only make it in, because, I mean, all these products, I guess you could worry because, these two are not really edible or anything like that, but it's not anything. I mean, shea butter, people use it for cooking back home, so it's nothing that, like, it's bleach or something you have to have a separate bowl to make it in. Anyway, that's what I think. So you're going to cut yourself some shea butter, or separate yourself some shea butter. I'm going to use a knife to separate it. And because shea butter is the main ingredient, so you're going to need quite a bit. Just break it up a bit with the knife. And because it's warm today, it's quite soft. It's not usually hard, but because of the warm weather and where I've been keeping it next to my radiator, I don't know if that's a good idea. But so it's quite soft. But yeah, I mean, you can choose how much. You don't have to use as much as I'm using, but I like mine to be mainly shea butter. And when you do whip it, it does kind of go down a bit. It's not as much as it's seen before, so I have to kind of use a lot. Okay, so that's the shea butter. Okay, then I'm gonna get some coconut oil, and I don't really have measurements for how much I put in. I just pour in some. So this is probably not really a good tutorial, but yeah, I mean, I just pour in some. Coconut is probably the biggest amount, in the bio oil I pour a little bit of olive oil because we know that's moisturizing too, and I love that. But I mean, it's not much. It's not like you're gonna have half oil, half shea butter. The main thing is shea butter, and these are just, I don't know what you want to call it, supplements. I'll use about half what I've got left, so that'll be the next batch. And I'll use about half of the bio oil in here. Yeah, so just loads of oils. If you wanted to, you could also use glycerin, but I don't like to use glycerin. I use glycerin in my hair one. I don't like to use glycerin in the skin one, just because I always find it has somehow, I don't know how to describe, like a sticky residue, sticky. It's kind of tacky when you touch it. Like the moisturizing spritz I make, I'll probably do a tutorial on how you make that as well. It's really simple, but it has that, it's kind of tacky, sticky, and I just don't like it. So I don't like that feeling on my skin. My hair, it doesn't seem to have that kind of feeling, but I don't like it on my skin, so I don't put glycerin in there. But I mean, you're more than welcome to put glycerin in if you like it. So you got all your ingredients in them, and it's a simple case of whipping it. Now you probably look at it thinking, how the hell am I gonna whip this? It's really easy. You just got to kind of mash it down so it's not quite so lumpy, and then you just whip it, and you'll end up looking like whipped cream. It's going to take a little while, so I'll probably have to go and come back, but you do have to kind of just mash it down like you're mashing some potatoes or something, and then you should be able to whip it after that, and it will take you about 5 minutes or so. Maybe it's not going to take that long. I don't know, maybe it seems to me it doesn't take that long because I'm doing it for a while, but it won't take that long, and it will look less than it did in the bowl. But I'm going to whip it. But yeah, you just gotta mash it down like that until you can kind of start whipping it. And when you do whip it, it will end up looking like whipped cream. But I'm gonna do that, and I'll come back when I'm done, and it will look lighter than it does right now. And I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm back now. It's been about 10 minutes. You can see the consistency of it now. It's kind of like whipped cream cake batter kind of consistency, so you can see it's a lot smoother now. It's a lot easier to mix. There's no problems, you know. It's just like, so I mean, there's still a few lumps in it, but I'm not really bothered by that. If you want to keep going to till it's 100% smooth, then you can. You might end up looking like Popeyes, having his Popeye's arms when he eats the spinach and going, and then yeah, you might look like that by the end of it, but that is completely up to you. So yeah, I mean, it's all mixed together nicely now. Got a few lumps in there, but no problem. It's going in your body, so I mean, when you scoop it out, you're gonna scoop it out and rub it off like that, and lotion your. Whew, I love this stuff. Yep, it's just beautiful. So yeah, that's it. All I've got to do now is transfer it into my container, which is pretty simple. I just like to use the whisk because it kind of scoops everything up at the same time, and then you kind of get the most, and carefully try to just drop it in there. And yeah, that's it. I mean, you can, clean it up once you've got everything in there. it's easier than trying to. I mean, you got less washing up to do and all that stuff if you just do that rather than going to find another spoon to scoop it in and all that nonsense. Yeah, so that is all in there. It's just a little bit left. I'll probably use the knife to scoop this lot up. Oh, still working. Whoops. Yeah, so these last bits, I'll just use my hands. I will just use my hands. Oh, it feels so good. And now it's really light. It's not heavy at all. It's not like overly thick. It's really light and easy to deal with. So yeah, just scoop that off there, off my whisk, and transfer it to the container. Simple enough, I guess. Yeah, so that's the whisk. And just, yeah. And then you can just get a towel, a kitchen tissue, or some tissue, napkins, whatever you call it. Just scoop it all out from there. Don't let nothing go to waste, because I don't know the next time someone's going to go to Ghana and bring me some more shea butter. So we put every bit of it to good use. And it does feel really, it's like whipped cream. That's the texture of it. I don't know if you can see that from the way I'm handling it, but it is like whipped cream. Cake batter is a lot thicker, but I guess in terms of the colour it looks kind of like a cake batter, but it's really really light, what which what is I don't know what kind of English I'm speaking right now, but that's what I really love about being able to, well, like this I'll just rub on my arms quickly. Don't want to waste it, so I'll just rub it on my arms, get them nice and smooth, rub them on my legs. I mean, it goes far, so that little bit that I've had on my hand, I'm putting on my legs, putting on my arms, so you can imagine how far, how long it's going to last you. I'm rubbing it on my feet. so yeah. Oh, right. And my hands are nice and clear. If my hands were ashy before, I apologise. They're not anymore. So yeah, I mean, you just got to tap it down just to level it out. Right, that's about it. And there it is. There is my whipped shea butter, or I don't know what you want to call it, shea butter, moisturising body butter cream, whatever it is, but it's in there, and that has filled, pretty much, you can see it's pretty much filled that container. So that container is going to last me, whew, 2.5 months. And I don't have to put it in the fridge or anything. I just got to keep it in a cool place. And I mean, if you do keep it in a cool place, it will solidify a little. I don't mean solidify. I mean, it just seem a bit thicker when you go to use it. But that's cool. I mean, it's warm now. The temperature outside is warm, so it'll pretty much stay like this. But if it's winter time, then it might get a bit thicker or solidify a little bit. But it's you've whipped it now, so it's not really gonna go back to this kind of state. It's not going to go back like this. It just might seem a little thicker when you dip your finger in to get it out. But that is it. I love it. This is what I use to keep my skin soft. I always get compliments about, Rose, your skin is so soft. I love your skin. That's what I use. Shea butter all the way. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.